The story of the Walisongo is a monumental chapter in the history of the Indonesian archipelago. These were not ordinary men. They were revered as saints, the Walisongo, which translates to the 9 saints. They are credited with the peaceful spread of Islam across Java, the most populous island in the nation. They were scholars, leaders, and spiritual guides who arrived during a time of great change, as the Hindu-Buddhist Majapahit Empire was slowly fading. Their mission was not one of conquest or force, but of enlightenment and gentle persuasion, a task that required immense patience and a deep understanding of the local people and their ancient traditions. The Walisongo did not operate as a single, unified group that existed all at once. Instead, they were a succession of influential figures who lived and taught between the 15th and 16th centuries. When one of the 9 passed away, another respected scholar would rise to take his place, ensuring the Council of 9 remained complete. This system allowed their mission to continue seamlessly for generations, adapting to the changing social and political landscapes of Java. They established Islamic boarding schools, known as, which became centers of learning and spirituality, nurturing future generations of leaders and scholars who would carry their teachings forward. Their names echo through Indonesian history, each associated with a specific region in Java. From Sunan Gresik, considered the first of the saints, to Sunan Gunung Jati in the west, their influence spread like roots of a great banyan tree. They were more than just preachers. They were advisors to sultans, community builders, and masters of various arts and crafts. They understood that to introduce a new faith, they first had to connect with the hearts of the people. They learned the local languages, married local women, and became integral parts of the communities they sought to guide, building trust through action rather than just words. The role of the Walisongo was thus multifaceted. They were diplomats navigating the complex politics between emerging sultanates and the remnants of the old kingdoms. They were innovators who introduced new agricultural techniques and economic systems that improved the lives of the common people. Their primary goal was to spread the message of Islam, but they did so by demonstrating its benefits in a tangible, worldly sense. Their approach was holistic, addressing not just the spiritual needs of the people, but also their social and economic well-being, laying a strong and enduring foundation for Islam in the archipelago. The genius of the Walisongo lay in their method of dawah, or Islamic propagation. They chose a path of acculturation rather than confrontation. They saw the rich tapestry of Javanese culture, with its deep roots in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, not as an obstacle, but as a vessel. They believed that the essence of Islam could be beautifully woven into the existing cultural fabric without destroying it. This strategy of peaceful integration was remarkably effective. Instead of banning local customs, they subtly infused them with Islamic values, making the new faith feel familiar and accessible to the people who had followed their ancestral ways for centuries. One of the most famous examples of this cultural synergy is the use of, or shadow puppet theater. Sunan Kalijaga, one of the most beloved saints, was a master puppeteer. He recognized that was more than just entertainment. It was a powerful medium for storytelling and moral education. He adapted the epic tales of the Mahabharata and Ramayana, which were well known to the Javanese people. He introduced new characters, the Semar, Garang, Petruk, Bagong, who served as wise clowns, delivering Islamic teachings and philosophy through humor and simple dialogue that everyone could understand and enjoy. This approach extended to other art forms as well. The Walisongo utilized gamelan music, a traditional Javanese orchestra, in their teachings. Sunan Bonang, for instance, is said to have composed new gamelan pieces with Islamic lyrical themes, transforming a medium once used for Hindu-Buddhist rituals into a tool for Islamic dawah. He modified the gamelan instruments themselves, creating the bonang, which added a new, distinct sound. By holding performances at the mosque, he attracted large crowds who came for the music, but stayed to listen to his gentle sermons, slowly absorbing the principles of the new faith. Even the architecture of the early mosques built by the Walisongo reflects this philosophy of integration. The Great Mosque of Demak, for instance, features a multi-tiered roof that resembles a Hindu temple structure, rather than the typical domes seen in Middle Eastern mosques. This architectural blending created a sense of continuity and familiarity, allowing people to feel comfortable entering a new place of worship. This subtle and respectful approach ensured that the transition to Islam in Java was largely a peaceful process, a testament to the wisdom and foresight of these 9 remarkable saints. The stories of the Walisongo are filled with tales of their supernatural abilities and profound wisdom. These accounts, passed down through generations, serve to elevate their status and demonstrate the divine favor they possessed. While some stories may be embellished over time, they carry deep symbolic meaning about their spiritual mastery. One of the most famous legends involves Sunan Kalijaga. It is said that before he became a saint, he was a robber named Raden Said. He attempted to rob Sunan Bonang, who was carrying a staff that appeared to be made of gold. Sunan Bonang simply pointed to a nearby tree and through his power, turned its fruit into gold, teaching Raden Said that true wealth is not material. This encounter transformed Raden Said. As a test of his resolve, Sunan Bonang instructed him to guard his staff, which he planted by a riverbank. Raden Said meditated there without moving for years, until his body was covered by grass and vines, earning him the name Kalajaga, or guardian of the river. This story is not just about a miracle, it symbolizes a profound spiritual transformation, the death of his old, greedy self, and his rebirth as a disciplined and enlightened individual. It teaches the importance of patience, perseverance, and the renunciation of worldly desires in the pursuit of a higher spiritual purpose. Another powerful figure was Sunan Gunung Jati of Cirebon, known for his political acumen and spiritual authority. Legends speak of his ability to travel vast distances in an instant, and his deep knowledge of many languages without ever formally learning them. One story tells of his journey to Mecca for the Hajj pilgrimage. He traveled not by ship, but through spiritual means, arriving almost instantaneously. These tales of his miraculous travel and encyclopedic knowledge were meant to illustrate his high spiritual station and his direct connection to the divine, reinforcing his authority as both a religious and political leader in West Java. These stories of, or miracles, were more than just fantastic tales. They functioned as powerful teaching tools in a society that revered spiritual power and mystical events. The miracles were seen as proof of the truth of the message the Walisongo carried. The ability to turn fruit into gold, or to build a mosque pillar from wood shavings, as one legend tells, demonstrated that their power came from a divine source. These narratives made their teachings more compelling and memorable, capturing the imagination of the people, and inspiring them to embrace the faith that these extraordinary men represented. The legacy of the Walisongo endures in Indonesia for profound reasons that go beyond their historical role in spreading Islam. Their story provides a powerful moral compass for contemporary society. The core message of their lives is one of tolerance, wisdom, and moderation. In a world often marked by religious conflict and extremism, the Walisongo's approach of peaceful dialogue and cultural respect stands as a timeless model. They taught that faith should be a source of harmony, not division, and that true spirituality is found in understanding and embracing humanity in all its diversity, a lesson that is more relevant today than ever before. Their memory is kept alive not only in history books but in the living traditions of the Indonesian people. Their graves, scattered across Java, are major pilgrimage sites, visited by millions of people each year who seek blessings and spiritual inspiration. These sites, known as, are not just tombs, they are vibrant centers of religious life where people pray, recite the Quran, and reflect on the teachings of the saints. This continuous act of remembrance ensures that the spirit of the Walisongo and their message of peaceful Islam remain deeply embedded in the nation's collective consciousness. Furthermore, the methods they employed continue to influence Indonesian Islam. The emphasis on cultural arts, such as gamelan, as vehicles for religious expression, remains a unique characteristic of Islam in the archipelago. This cultural Islam, often associated with organizations like Nahdlatul Ulama, traces its roots directly back to the inclusive and adaptive strategies of the Walisongo. They demonstrated that being a devout Muslim does not require abandoning one's cultural identity. Instead, they showed how faith and culture can enrich one another, creating a unique and resilient spiritual tradition. In conclusion, the Walisongo are revered to this day because they represent the ideal of what a religious leader should be: wise, compassionate, and deeply connected to the people they serve. They were not distant figures demanding obedience. They were gardeners who patiently nurtured the seeds of faith in the fertile soil of Javanese culture. They built bridges, not walls, and left behind a legacy of peace and understanding. Their story is a constant reminder that the most powerful way to change hearts and minds is not through force, but through wisdom, respect, and a genuine love for humanity.